All right. There. Now you're live. Hello, everybody. Tara, how you doing? We apologize. Tara is having a little microphone problem at the time being. We're about to work it out. Glad to see everybody. You're cutting it in and out, honey. I can't. Can you guys hear her? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear her or if it's cutting in and out. Yeah. If you unplug your headset, can you just use the speaker and the microphone on the laptop? Does that work any better? I can keep everybody entertained over here if they're okay with that. Can you guys hear me? Just, I don't know, maybe a 1 in the chat or something if you guys can hear me okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Tara's having a little Wi-Fi difficulty. Good to see everybody. I'll let you work on that, Tara, and I guess I'll talk a little bit and then we'll get you going here. So glad to see everybody tonight. I am self-proclaimed Shelleys psychologist, and I think Tara does such a fantastic job with her videos about him that log in the stream. Okay. All right, she's gonna join from her cell, and she'll be right back. So we that's fine. I'll take over. So we were talking, and I had a concern because not of Chili's normal antics that he does and all the easy things that it is to make fun of him with, but I had a bigger concern that I talked to her about, and I thought that her platform would be a good way to maybe attract the right people to get this message through. Normally I do film photography, things like that. But I did spend a good decade in finance and lecturing and training and all kinds of basically anything geared around sales and finance and stuff. And everything that I see Chili doing it's so predictable to me. What he's been doing lately, because he's either, if I'm wrong about what I think that is happening, then he's either the most unlucky guy on the face of the planet, because every single day of the week or every other day of the week when he streams, he seems to have some catastrophic thing between lights getting stolen, needing $1,000 printers, I'm naming things that just recently happened, but this is, you can go back. I've studied his account deeply. His ramp up with subscribers, which we all know is subsidized by fluffed up subscribers, but that doesn't really matter. What I care about is the ones that are real, and what I'm concerned with is that I believe that they are not people that have a lot of money to be given away. I believe that they're people that are easily bought into this philosophy or this way he has of of selling the drama around everything that happens with him.
Do you hear me?
Here we go. There we go.
All
There
right.
you go. Okay.
Okay, I'm on my phone.
All right. That's fine. Everybody can hear her now, right? Yes, John Farrow. It is one huge grift. You're absolutely right, Tara. Would you
Yes.
agree that everything
Oh,
it's and
absolutely.
that's what we talked about. And here's my concern. He'll get stopped. I understand that, but
Hmm.
I'm afraid that his did anybody see Kate's video that she found on him from like 5 years ago when he was trying to build an app and he had invested about 20 something thousand
Oh,
dollars.
yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, let's all be reasonable here. Let's
That
think
was
about that.
awesome.
I know. Like, listen, I'm not saying that I'm a computer programmer, but I'm a business person. And the first rule of business is you don't pay somebody 20 something thousand dollars and then get a final product that you haven't even seen, tested, know anything about. That's not how that works.
Right.
So I felt like throughout that whole video, I honestly felt like, and why would you tape yourself going to put up posters about, like, he seemed like so terrified throughout the whole thing. He didn't seem like somebody that was angry, somebody that was frustrated, somebody that had been bamboozled, you know what I mean? And it was amazing because if you caught it, he was trying to get this money because that Friday, like 2 days away, 1 day away, he couldn't make payroll. So I'm
Right.
pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure that people don't work for free. So he must have been making payroll, I don't know, the weeks before. All of a sudden, this final investment to get the final product for the app, let's say that the app worked. How would he have made payroll? If the guy
Exactly.
gave if he gave him the app and it worked, you still have to market it, you still have to sell it. You know what I mean? And anybody that would give him that kind of money would never, that's not how investing works. You don't give somebody money and just let it fly, especially with people that have, usually people that have reserves and assets like that are, have the ability to spot somebody that is a little bit weaker in knowing how to deal with people with money. So
Right.
they're not going to let him just run wild with their money. They're going to say no. Like you show him, they're going to demand something from him, which is gonna bleed into the way that he deals with that guy. And just the fact that the way the whole thing went down and the cops ended up taking, or trying to arrest him and stuff. It just, none of it made any sense. None of it. And as soon as I saw that, I said, you know what? He's not even an experience. He's just figuring. It seems like he's just figuring out all these other little like puddle jumps that he did with acting and with
Right.
all those other things that he did, and each one of them, he has charisma. He has, you know what I mean. He doesn't look menacing. He doesn't, you know what I mean.
That's the problem.
That's
And
the
most
exact
men
problem.
don't look at Bundy.
Mhm. Yep.
He was good
Yep.
looking.
Yep. Yep.
Shelley's not,
It's
but Bundy was. I'm just
the
saying.
no, no. Listen, you're 100% right. I mean, it's a weird analogy, but that's the bottom line. And the thing is that he's the things that I've picked up on that really concern me. And again, when I say concern, I'm not worried about him bringing down the police or the world or whatever. I'm
Right.
really, honestly, I'm really scared for people in a very, very, very um, edgy time when it comes to police interactions and life in general and budgets and people having money to feed their families and stuff and wanting to believe in, because as we talked about, most people have had maybe a poor interaction with the police or had a license problem. As crazy as it sounds, statistically speaking, almost every person that has issues like this kind of thing, this sovereign citizen, this no laws, this no money for plates, no money for registration. Like where does
Right.
that go? The sales tax, the renewing insurance, like the people that have biggest issues with that all have like early licensing issues or just small issues with the police that they then project onto them, and
Hmm.
it never stops. It only gets worse and worse. And so he's almost like anybody would want to get out from under that. I mean, it's horrifying having to go out and drive around without a license. And
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I wanted to say something about when he was in that video that Kate showed,
yep,
and he said, "There he is." You notice how when he's telling people that there's somebody there or a police car, he never
yep,
shows it.
yep, yep.
I wonder. I mean, that guy probably wasn't home, and the neighbors called the police because he's creeping around this guy's house.
Right. That's what they were saying on the stream. It was almost like he was being a burglar or something like that.
Right. That's why he was
Yep.
arrested for what they say, possible burglary or attempted burglary or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. John, I see your comment there, and that would be exactly correct, because you'd see that same type of. It's almost like a street thing. Like they pick up how to, I hate to use the word finesse because he's hardly finessing anything, but they understand what people will gravitate towards. The fact that he literally makes up words as he goes. He makes up terminology, you know what I mean, with his. I mean, I looked at his next live stream, just I didn't even mean to. I was just, going through my videos and stuff and organizing some stuff, and he's got a whole thing on the intermittent fasting that he does. I
Right.
mean, he can't stay on one topic for enough time to get anything done. And it just, again, the Deborah Rogers thing, every single time we talked about that, that's what I think, John. I honestly think that that's exactly what he is. And
He is.
my concern is that I'm hoping that by us talking about this, that his subscribers that are fooled don't end up putting themselves in a position, because unfortunately the opposite to that, these people that grab onto this idea that he may be able to help them, and he may, like the people that comment back to me when I say something on his video,
Oh man.
they just go off. They're like, you can actually feel how palpable their anger is.
But
And
it's all insults, and it's all
right,
at your appearance.
right. It's almost childlike, which
Right.
fits into where their problem probably lies, because they just can't follow the simplest of rules. They're not
Right.
people that are have deep rooted problems with police brutality or all these laws and things like that. I mean, the things that he says just don't even make sense. I mean, his
No.
whole I don't know if everybody here that's watching, if you have heard his theory about what he wants to do with pedophiles, but all these grandiose ideas that he has on how to fix this situation. But pedophiles, he wants to put pedophiles on an island with gunboats surrounding it. Okay,
What? Okay, I didn't know this.
Yeah, no, he out and out says this. Put them on an island with gunboats surrounding it. So we don't need guns on the streets where people are getting shot and killed. An officer just a couple days ago tased a guy, got shot in the face, and then had to shoot him. I mean, it's ridiculous. So he wants the guns off the streets and drones flying around people's heads, but he wants gunboats watching pedophiles on an island, dropping food pallets twice a week or something like that. I'm not even joking. I'm not joking. I actually made a short about it, and it describes, and he even says, he goes, well, that's if I don't catch an assault charge by seeing him first, like acting like he's so against the pedophiles that he would attack one of them. But it's that theory compared to the way that he wants to handle all of the new rules and regulations. It's just so ridiculous. But again, all of that, everybody sees through that. Anybody with half a brain. It's the
Right.
problem is it's the subscribers and the people that haven't figured it out, that are still holding on to hope. I mean, his big announcement about his studio, and he's going to do, he's going to start teaching, constitutional scholar stuff, and I'm like,
That's not happening.
wait a minute. I go, isn't that what you were doing for the last like 8 or 9
Year.
or 10 months or year?
Yeah.
Right? You know
I
what I
thought
mean?
that's what he started his channel for.
Right.
But then he
And
wasn't making money doing that. Nobody
yeah,
was buying his creepy little trifold or his weird poster. So then he decided, oh, well, then let me just create chaos and
Yeah.
more people will start joining. And that's what happened, unfortunately.
Yeah, June of 2020, he started his channel. From then till March of 2022, he had 11,000 subscribers, or maybe it might have been more. It might have been like 18,000, but it was under 20. And then all of a sudden, he just in 2 or 3 months he jumped up to 48, 45,000 or something like
Right.
that. And however he got them, it's not my concern. Bought whatever, you know what I mean? There's measures that YouTube and every platform uses to weed out just complete non-existent users that are just bots or whatever. So some of
Right.
the people have to be real. I definitely don't believe that they all are. Of course, I understand that,
Yeah.
but
Well, when he came back from being banned, I mean,
right.
he has like
And
10,000, 11,000 more.
yeah, I actually did a printout. I used Social Blade. I think I got it right here.
Oh, absolutely, Mel. And I think me and you, Michael, were talking about that the other day, and that we even did the math on it.
Yep.
It cost $6.99 to purchase 100 subs.
Right, and what they do is they bleed in. You know what I mean? Because obviously you can't just grab them overnight, so they bleed them in over each month and stuff like that. But
right,
what my original focus started with Ironton, because they were getting so mad, and they were just out and out saying like, I don't give a shit what he does. He comes here. I got an AR. I go, it's not you guys that I'm worried about. You know what I mean? That this is the problem. He attacked a couple in Ironton who had nothing to do with anything. They weren't involved in any part of his legal issues, anything like that. They were just somebody that made comments on a stream, and he called and he happened to be able to dox her because she was a nurse or something like that, and he called DSS on her, and it took her 48 hours to straighten that out. And it's things like that, like you and I had talked about. You know what I mean? People have gone after me, you know what I mean, for whatever reason, because they didn't like what I was talking about. And I mean, it's unbelievable that the videos that they'll make or things that they'll say about you. I mean,
oh yeah. And I just wanted to say really quick, hi everybody. Like, I just jumped on here and was like, blah 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 blah.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I had some mic issues. I had some PC issues with my son's laptop, so I'm on my phone now. But I just wanted to say welcome everybody. I am so glad you guys came to my first live stream. Michael has been amazing helping me out, teaching me how to use this and get everything ready. If it wasn't for him, I'd still be sitting here trying to figure it out. So thank you, Michael.
Yeah. Well,
and I do want to invite people onto the panel, like one by one.
Anybody that wants to come up, believe me, I'm not the be all end all. I just had like an opinion I wanted to share, and I did want to just explain something, because one thing that does come up a lot is his views to subscriber count, and there's until you really get into YouTube and Google and stuff like that, and you understand, there is, see, when I joined, there was no separation between YouTube and Google. You had to be a Google verified business, which I am, and a verified artist, and then you had to use your real name. So talk about doxed. I mean, you can Google my kid's goldfish's name from when he was 3 years old, and you'll get it. I mean, like, there's nothing I can hide on the internet. And when even when I was getting trolled by somebody, my engagement, and that's a much different figure as far as views. Definitely views contribute, likes contribute, but you know what contributes the most is comments. People that comment on your videos contribute the largest portion to engagement, and engagement directly affects how you monetize. And I'm sitting here looking right now at his subscriber gains, and what's really crazy is that his subscriber gains in January through May are the highest that he's had since his channel went up. And I'm talking like a straight line that has maybe like a couple little hiccups in it. And then you've got these giant spikes that go up 3, 4, 5,000, 3, 4, 5,000. But his views stayed the same even with those subscriber counts right up until March and May, or March through May of 2022, when he had a 10,000 subscriber gain, and the view gain immediately goes up with that too. And so a lot of times if you got I'm sorry, I was just reading a comment. A lot of times if you have people that are leaving a lot of comments, even, and here's the part that is frustrating, even if they're bad, you know what I mean? Like I was getting people that were dogging me on somebody and they were leaving horrible comments, but my engagement was at like 4,000% because they were leaving comments. You know what I mean? So it's, and Mel, you're probably right. Clips, I can tell you right now.
Oh, I know it is.
This
Even
year,
though he says it's Coke Dog. No.
Yeah. No, that's bullshit. Believe me, they're all tied together. He just want anybody to know that. So
exactly.
And the other thing is that clips are paid differently. You make quicker money and you can make more money. It's got a lower threshold for qualification, and you can make, and they have what's crazy is that when he was on Twitter and Instagram, when he had that little hiatus that he took, he could have been making $1,200 to $1,400 a month in Instagram, Facebook bonuses that he just didn't even know about, because he loves posting live video. And if he just did that every single day, he would have qualified for those bonuses. But he's so dumb, he didn't even know how to do that. But I listen to this guy, and he changes. So he goes from teaching constitutional law, which he knows nothing about, as we've all seen, to weight loss. The things that he does are the polar opposite of anything I've ever seen in my life. He gets the studio, and then what happens? He goes out for a coffee, and all of his lights get stolen. So there we got another fundraiser for that. Then he gets thrown out of that studio because the guy doesn't want to rent to him. He gets another studio. In the history of Chili's and studios, frauditors, who paints a studio black? No one does. I mean,
he was trying to make it look like a dungeon.
Yeah. Well, for what? I mean, he's supposed to be. He wants to teach everybody the constitutional law, so he wants to do it. So he's inside of a dungeon.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just. It's almost like he's like his brain is like a little hamster on a wheel, just going 1,000 miles a minute. Yes, John. He was. You know what happened on TikTok? John asked if he was run off of.
Yeah, for being racist.
Yeah, he broke terms of service because, you and I talked about the clip, Tara, where he goes, "Oh, women, pink, blue,
yeah,
black,
that was
green."
so cringy.
Right. Yeah, I made a little short about that. I'm like, how about loyal? How about someone who's a great housewife? How about a mother? How about someone that's beautiful? How about being a great person? How about those qualities? I mean, green, black, blue, big, fat, small. I'll take them all.
He'll take anything.
Yeah, of course he will, because he doesn't even understand.
Animal, human.
Yeah, he talks almost like a sex offender or an abuser.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, he stalked that girl in Oregon.
Yeah, he
admitted that without coming right out and saying it.
Yeah. But in reality, it really is his mom's basement. Yeah, it is. So
my main purpose for focusing, I know a lot of people are really sick and tired of chili videos, and I get it. My main focus for doing chili videos I am trying my hardest to educate his subscribers. He is hurting his subscribers by giving them misinformation, the wrong
He
legal advice,
he
telling them the
totally
wrong
is.
thing about constitutional law. And then he's going to people in person and telling them legal advice, which is getting them put in jail. He is hurting people.
Yep.
That's my main reason for it. And I know I don't want to lose subscribers because I still focus on Shelley, but that is my main reason. And I just want it. He's just one parasite that needs to be plucked before the rest of them.
I feel like I agree with you, and I feel like he's going to. I feel like the people that he hurts with his subscribers are not so much. It's all obviously it's all horrible information, but I feel like they take money that they don't have and they give it to him. I mean, when he was walking out the other night and he's screaming about Deborah, he was like actually yelling at his subscribers for $25, $30, 25. Yeah, and you could actually see within the little moment of what was happening, he was going out to dinner. That's all that was. It was money for him to go to dinner. It was not for Deborah.
Exactly.
You know?
But the way he was saying it, like, you don't need to eat for like 2 to 3 days, but this woman really needs your money. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Did you really say that? That they don't need to eat? Their children don't need to eat. But some woman who willingly drove under the influence of, I think it was both narcotics and alcohol with a weapon and got caught. Like, come on.
Right. Yeah. Cup of Joe's saying that he promotes behavior that will get people arrested. He does.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when he's talking about, go to your local board meeting or your city council meeting or whatever, you can't go in with the attitude that he has you go in with. You know what I mean? And you can't, and believe me, he doesn't even audit the way he tells people to audit. He doesn't do that. He doesn't go storming up to cars and to police. You can't interject yourself into a police stop, even if it's speeding or whatever.
Right.
His whole stupid Tesh lines versus whatever it is, Danforth, is completely and entirely wrong. It's completely wrong. He's trying to imply that because it said that you can pull over on the side of the road because of the distance between the a safe exit and the distance from the road, whatever.
He's wrong.
That's not,
of course.
He's trying to use it so you can pull over and start filming a police stop. That is not what that is even about. And yes, he does have
he does have them is it just one? Isn't it like forever long?
Yeah, he's got a permanently
okay, yeah, it is permanent.
Yeah, it's permanent against that girl in Alaska. Yes, he does.
And yes, Warriors Rage. That is only in Mississippi, and I've stated that in several videos now.
Yep.
That case law, like he likes to take case law and say it's literally for the entire country, and it's not.
Yeah.
You have to look that up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't obviously know how to read or comprehend what he does read.
If I'm trying to see who that was.
That trip to Colombia. Oh my God.
I know that was horrible. But it's his name is Merb. He's the attorney Merb, but he spells it ME34B, I think, something like that. He does a complete breakdown of Tesh lines versus Danforth, and believe me, if you watch that, you'll completely understand why Chili's is totally misrepresenting the way that's being presented. So,
and Major Earl, yes, you are absolutely right. You can pull over and film a police stop, but not on the interstate or the highway. Those are two different places as far as, roadways, and there are laws against stopping for non-emergency reasons.
Right.
But yes, absolutely. In the country or in town or in a city and even in the neighborhood, yes, you can pull over and you can film the police. What Chili is trying to tell you that you can pull over on the interstate or highway for any reason is absolutely wrong.
Right. He's almost nudging it towards you can pull over for that sole reason of filming the police.
Right.
And it's just not right. I mean, you're not supposed to, especially in that situation where in order to do it, you'd have to pull actually closer to the police car. You wouldn't have to give them extra room. You'd have to get closer because it creates a more of a hazard if you're spread out. And
Right.
so then now you're so close that you're actually interfering with, I mean, he's got one car to look at. Now you're pulling up behind him. Just think about the officer's mentality right now. Now he's got a car behind him. He's got no idea what's going on because, you know, some
No
guys
potluck. When it comes to chili, road safety does not apply.
No.
He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't.
That was one thing that made me so mad about his last live stream was when he was laughing and going, I'm going 89 now. Ha 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 ha. And it's like, okay, wow. Yeah, so I sent all that in to the Arizona Highway Patrol. I did. And they were very grateful for it. I don't know who I spoke with. It was somebody who answered the phone. I just told them why I was calling. They gave me the email. I emailed them the clip and all of Chili's info. So I don't know what they're going to do with it, but at least they're aware that. And I did add in the part of the officer that he had that confrontation with. So I'm sure if they know who the officer is, they can talk to him and find out what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah.
William Stryker, Tara, up there.
Uh-huh.
That's what we were talking about. Dutch Doyle is a retired New York City police officer, and he and I were talking, and his concern was just what you just said, William, that this behavior, not just Chili, but people like Chili that have this very over-the-top aggressive attitudes towards these interactions, they are pushing an envelope that is literally at the ignition point. I mean, all you have to do is watch, like, you know, like the new Live Cops or whatever. I mean,
right.
It's everything is palpable with these stops. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You don't need these First Amendment auditors are creating more nuisance because it just everything is so wound up and it's tighter than a Swiss clock right now. You know what I mean? And they're creating more. I think they're creating more danger in something really erupting than or somebody getting really hurt, because I mean they're going. Some of them are going right up to cars and talking to the drivers and the passengers, which they cannot do. Things like that. It's absolutely crazy. So, hey, Chuck.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. What was this? I saw somebody that was going to. Yes, he walks among the tombstones. I've heard that from Shelleys Map too, that he's lost over 90% revenue, and he's blaming people that make the videos about him. No, it's him. No. It's his vile personality, his disgusting behavior. That's why he's lost revenue. That's why he can't sell a trifold or a poster, and he says he's giving them away. Now, if you went to his website before Christmas, you would have seen comments saying, hey, I paid $25 for this thing. Where is it? I haven't received it in months. He has since then deleted all of that.
Yep.
And he didn't want us to know, but somebody already screenshot it all.
Yeah, I broke that down. I went back in May of this year, and I pulled screenshots of all those things, comments. Chili, I sent money in. Can I please just get my trifold? Can I get this? Can I get that?
Right.
You know, people complaining. And so him and that website and whoever the webmaster is, he's not selling merch. He's not selling anything. He's not. It's just a gun smoking bullshit as far as that is concerned. And he's not. He's just, his revenue is dropped because he's not getting the stream income on PayPal and Cash App, whatever that he was at one point. I've looked at his revenue. I mean, you can actually look up any channel's ad click revenue or their general revenue on anybody. His didn't dip. He actually had more interaction through March, April, May, June, July of this year than he did any other time. And that's exactly when he started to complain that they were attacking him.
Well, he's saying that because he wants his supporters to feel sorry for him and start dishing out more money in super chats or PayPal or whatever he uses.
Right.
And that's the only reason why he's complaining about that.
Right. And what he's not showing is he's not showing the analytics to why the income dropped. Your income can drop, and Tara will tell you this, because YouTube doesn't believe that your content is abiding by the community guidelines. So
Right.
if he's swear, and again, it's not like he doesn't swear a lot and he doesn't use a lot of disgusting terminology. I mean, seriously, listen, I am absolutely supportive of the LGBTQ community and everybody. I'm a Marine, so I'm huge on Veterans United, everything like that. And to listen to him and look at him and to know that he's obviously running from himself. I mean, he's certainly not, and I could care less. I would think he would use it to his advantage, but for some reason he feels like that's a weakness or something. I don't know what it is, but it's sad that he has to talk about people like that in such a derogatory, disgusting manner. It really is.
Yeah, potluck. That makes me mad when he sits there and he says, no victim, no crime. And he's not the only one. Almost every frauditor will say, if there's no victim, there's no crime. I have shown it on several of my videos. Yes, you don't need to have a victim to commit a crime. If that was the case, then, I don't know. Speeding is a crime.
Yep.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head because I was just trying to read that really quick. But yes, you don't need a victim. And the whole, Simon Ross, the whole tech lines versus Danforth, I'm so tired of hearing him talk about that.
Yeah.
He does ignore the whole part about the stop having to be necessary.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And that we were just talking about that. It's not to pull over to watch police. It's to pull over because you need to check a tire or somebody, I don't know, whatever. You have to have a reason to pull over. That's not giving you a reason.
What's SSUM video, Adam? I know I said I was doing 2 videos. One was the trifold, and I did that. And there was another one. Now I can't remember what it is. It's in my phone. I just, I don't know. So, I'm sure he'll let me know.
Pat's Cats is hitting it right on the nail on the head. Every time something happens to him, there's always like another part of the tragedy. His car got stolen with all this stuff in it. But it's amazing because 2 days later he's dragging all this stuff around with him. You know what I mean?
Sorry, my son. He's in the chat. I'm being forced to be here. I promise I'm not forcing my son to be here. No, I'm not. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Sorry, Michael.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Adam, that's a tough one for me too. I've tried to I tried to actually go to a couple of their streams on Ironton and explain that I'm not worried about the people that are streaming getting and having issues, but there's another part to this which concerns me, which is that I don't know what his end game is. I don't know if he's I don't want to start any huge conspiracy theories here, but Pat's Cats, I'll tell you exactly what's going on with Kate in 1 second. But YouTube is a huge ecosystem, and there are channels that make a lot of money doing YouTube, and there's people that do it to make money. There's people that do it to make a living. There's people that get to a point where it becomes and it has nothing to do with your subscriber count. Believe me. I just did a live stream on a very rare character on YouTube, and the main person that usually is doing stuff on him usually only retains about 6,000 or 7,000 subscribers, and he probably makes $700-800 a day streaming on this kid. So it's if you start to think about the way in which the channels will push subscribers over to here to watch, then to here to watch, then over to here to watch, and everybody's more than generous in these communities. And sometimes if you get a particular person that is being attacked, a Fraditor or whatever, you want to stop them, but you might not necessarily want him to go away, if you know what I mean. I'll leave it at that. I'm just saying that that there's a lot more to the whole situation than just the obvious things that we see. You know what I mean? So it keeps going around and around. So, but in answer to the question about what's happening with the lawsuit, Kate has she has exhausted the amount of funds that she set aside for her lawyer to deal with that.
Yeah, sadly.
Josh is the only one that is still engaging him, and basically, which you can get an update on that any day if you want from Merb's channel. He does an update on every time there's a post on that. But basically, Kate has drawn a line in the sand. She said, if you want to drag me to court on anything else, then I'm going to go pro se like you, and we'll go toe to toe, because Chili spent nothing. I mean, he didn't spend anything because he went in. He filled out special forms saying that he was basically had no income, no assets, no nothing. So he got all his fees waived, and it's maybe cost him I don't know, not much to do what he's done. And he's really abusing the system because he's doing motions, but a motion is for an action. You're making a motion to quit. So a motion to quit is to stop somebody from doing something. You don't just do a motion to quit and then have no explanation of what it is. And that's what he's doing. It's like,
right.
Because he's pro se, meaning he represents himself.
Yes, William.
The court gives him this huge leeway as far as Josh Manboob's agents. Yes, that's true. Very, very funny. The alliances there. Josh was like the number one, focus on a certain channel before he went to jail. But actually, I do think he's added some humor in the meantime to that. But anyways, so that's that was my focal point. But I just really feel like the people that are hanging on, that are still like just supporting him so like vehemently, and are almost like it's like they're working just to give him anything. I don't know what he's doing. I don't even know what the situation is. The last thing I heard is he got blown out of his studio for knocking the wall out and painting it black. I don't even know where he's at.
Yeah, he didn't have permission to do it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Chili doesn't need permission to do anything. He's above the law and humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat Katz is right. It was Chili's motive to drain Kate dry. Period. Yes. He said it over and over and over again. Yeah. And while he's begging for money in live streams, doing fundraisers for his legal fee,
right,
he's actually going to court not paying much of anything at all, because he's filing all these waivers for fees and going to Colombia with the fundraising money.
Yeah. He collected over $3,500 for when it was all said and done, and it has not even cost him $500 in federal court yet.
Right, binary tools. Yeah, it was Kate's supporters, not Kate herself. Yeah. You're right.
But you know what, though? She said that she would have dedicated that money to what is it? The hospital there, St. Jude's or whatever. I mean, it could have gone somewhere better than an attorney. You know what I mean? So Chili is still he's still hurting the system. She would have given it back. I mean, I've known Kate for a few years. She came on the other night and really put the dagger in one of the people that we go after, and that was pretty funny. But she always is up front with exactly where every penny goes. That's the one thing I will say. She's ever.
I wanted to say to the chat or the channel also that Major Earl is not a Chili supporter at all. He's a really nice guy. He just doesn't agree with the things that we say, and I'm trying to help him realize that even though he has been tormented by the police in his area, that not all police are bad. He's just it's just a sad. I'm going to invite him on in a bit so that he can, tell his side if he wants.
Absolutely.
He has anger because he was treated legitimately horrible by police.
Listen, I understand that. I mean, I have press credentials, and I'm a photographer, filmmaker. I myself have had 2 or 3 run-ins with police that don't understand, like the rules around public filming. I mean, literally, like right down the street from my studio, I got arrested because there was kids on a playground in a public place that I was not photographing, but I don't know. They just took it upon themselves to feel like they were. So I am not oblivious to the fact that there are things that are not right that go on. And so anybody that wants to voice their opinion, you know what I mean? I have talked plenty. I just, I wanted to, Tara was nice enough to give me a platform to voice, my opinion, but I don't want to take up time and stifle anybody else's. So,
yeah, where do I find the link so I can send it?
You can, I think that if you copy it, I think you can paste it right into the comments, right into the live chat.
Okay. I have to go back to the email, right?
Yeah. So you would go back, copy it, and you could paste it right in there, and you could.
It's not.
And then
there we go. Got it.
And then I think somebody can just click that, and they can come right up.
All right, I'm gonna put it in the chat as long as everybody doesn't like bombard the back room there. Yeah, I only have so much coffee for a few of you. Okay, there we go.
Yep, there you go.
And I would love to see Mark up here too, if he wants to, because I have a lot to say about his best friend, Sean Reyes.
Yeah.
Like, his supporters have been attacking me left and right because I made that video calling him out for being a dumbass. So that's been fun. Okay, so how do I find people to let them on?
So there's Major Earl right there. Just tell him, just click, he can scroll the chat, and there's a link right here. Major Earl, 4 spots ahead of you, there's a link. Click it, and you'll be brought backstage on StreamYard, and then Tara will bring you right up on stage. You can tell your side, or you can tell your story.
Yeah. Okay, my cat just knocked over a bunch of dishes.
I thought lightning
Thanks,
strike.
Cat.
Lightning's gonna strike us.
Well, I have these high beams. I live in a log house, and I have these high beams, and my cat is stupid and likes to lay up there and sleep, and then falls off while sleeping.
Yeah.
And doesn't catch itself midair. But yes, a bomb just went off.
I believe Jerry's in the backstage, so you can bring him on. I'm going to mute myself and let you guys talk.
Okay.
And if you got to bump me, you can bump me to get people on.
That's okay.
Oh no, you don't need to bump yet. I think you can do up to 6 people right now in the front if you got the free one.
Can I? Okay, I'm just letting.
Yeah. So you got half of a fat man right now.
That's pretty nice. Right. I'm gonna let you guys have the panel here. All right.
So I was thinking 10 minutes, and then go to whoever else wants to come on, unless nobody else wants to come on. 10, 15 minutes. That way everybody gets a chance to be up here if they want to.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. Really, I'm not gonna lie. Just I like talking rather than typing. So if I get a chance to use my voice, I like to use it.
Okay, so we have 6 of us. Okay.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. Hello there.
Hey. Okay, I recognize one person.
All right.
Who do I recognize?
Okay. You recognize me because you replied to me and I replied to you.
That's right.
He was your original guest. He's the one you wanted on.
Well, who?
I don't know about that, but
who is the one that doesn't like the cops but doesn't like
Major Earl. Is he here? Did he change his name?
As long as it's not majorly awesome, I ain't bothered.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we don't. No. I don't have the patience for majorly awesome.
Well, I don't think anybody else do, to be honest with you. I think he's a bit of a pain in the arse.
Oh, absolutely. Wait, isn't that hold on, I know. Okay, I'm brain farting.
Must be a silent one.
Which one is majorly awesome again?
Oh, who? You don't know who Majorly Awesome is?
Oh, I do, but I can't think of his YouTube name.
It's Rogue Nation.
Yeah, that's right, Road Nation.
Oh my God, no.
That's right. Yeah, no. He's been invited to people's panels to discuss things, and he just
chickens out.
He'll either chicken out or he'll try and take over the stream, and it's like, you were invited here. Like, I felt so bad when Fraditor Troll had him on. And then
I tell you what, the best time for me was when I watched Mark absolutely verbally rip his spine out and beat him over to death with it, with the case law and stuff like that. that was amazing. Mark did such a good job on that.
I agree.
It was incredible. It really was.
I agree. Mark does an amazing job on everything he does on here anyways.
Yeah, because he G-checks everything. He G-checks his work. He G-checks his research. He's a G-checking fool.
Yes, exactly.
Did you see him G-check Merb? Oh my Lord! Now that was something. Merb, yeah.
Merb does not want none of that smoke. He doesn't want none of the G-check. He rather be in the F side because he's like, no, I'm just gonna skip the G. I don't want none of that.
Oh yeah, but seriously, you ought to.
Oh yeah.
Hezekiah.
Hey, what's up, Hezekiah? Call me on Hand Banana.
Yeah.
Him and Hand Banana, yeah.
Yeah.
Hand Banana is hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's funny.
We do have Major Earl on here though. Major Earl.
Hello.
Hi. How are you, Joey?
I'm doing good. I'm out here drilling in the rain.
Oh, well, that sounds fun.
Too.
Yeah, it's been raining here.
In the rain.
So we're all on the East Coast right now?
No, I'm in the West Side.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
No, I'm not. It's raining.
Oh, wow. Then it's raining everywhere then.
And I'm in the East Midlands in the UK.
Oh, I miss the UK.
Oh, well, it's at the moment there's nothing too spectacular about it. We've got a government that's trying to screw us over every 5 minutes. So it's just the usual absolute turmoil and chaos over here.
Oh, of course. Well, it's just as much over here too.
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos in California too. So in America.
Yeah, so I've been hearing.
Did we lose our host?
Well.
Oh, have we lost somebody?
We lost the host.
Oh, we've lost.
Oh no. And I'm gonna go live. Oh, there's
back. I wonder where you've gone.
I don't know what happened.
It happens. Internet disconnections.
I got excited and hit back.
Oh, okay.
Ask Hezekiah. That happens to him all the time.
I dropped my mouse.
It's
I
his
dropped my
fault
mouse
then.
before.
So, does anybody have any updates on what's going on with the DMA?
DMA. I've been keeping up on it with Fraditor Troll.
Mm-hmm.
He's slowing down. He's going to stay off of the for a while, like for about a week or two, because of the fact that he got arrested. The only one that chickened out was Regan Benson. The queen of all Karens. She chickened out. She did not want to go to jail again. And I do know that he has another felony. He has a felony charge for that Social Security office thing.
Yes.
Where Shelley was there. And Shelley chickened out. Shelley didn't try to go in there. He played Christopher of DMA,
I heard that Regan was she was gonna go to jail, but animal control wasn't working that day.
Yeah, she ran out. She ran away.
Oh my lord!
Brother exposed. All right.
Well, from what I understand, and from what I've been sort of like, seeing from DMA, I think he knows that he's in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely.
And he knows he can't dig himself out of it this time. So I think that he's sort of like backing away a little bit, sort of like, I think he's sort of like weighing up, the pros and cons on whether he needs to keep doing this or not. So he knows for a fact that he's in trouble. The fact that you've been having quite a few ordinances over there, sort of like, with the states and the counties sort of like putting in place, saying that courthouses and council buildings and government property and stuff like that is non-public forum or limited public forum.
Right.
I think they are starting to catch up on the fact is, I think we're going to be a bit screwed here because now people are catching on. And I personally think that that's what's happening. There's definitely something going off there because Rogue Nation's backed off. You've not heard much from him lately,
right?
Georgia Transparency, I've heard that he's up the paddle. Basically he's up the creek without a paddle. I've heard he's in some serious trouble as well, although I don't know what it is. Chile. Oh my lord! Now where the heck do I start with that idiot?
Oh man!
He's been doing a lot of cop watching.
Well, he claims he's the #1 auditor on YouTube, and that he's the first auditor ever. 10 years ago, supposedly he started.
Yeah, just remember, guys. Just remember the loser life. He didn't choose it. The loser life chose him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He was a failed actor, what he is,
A failed Power Ranger.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was trying to look up him on Power Ranger, like on International Movie Base, and on one of them I found him, but it didn't show his picture on there. So
Well, the problem is that he didn't make it. He was cast and then he got fired before they actually filmed anything with him.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, wasn't that something to do with that business?
A female, the pink one, wasn't it?
The one that plays Kimberly or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I barely remember that stuff. I was a teenager when that was there.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 43.
I'm 46, mate.
I'm 46.
So I mean, I never watched Power Rangers. My
little brother did. I had my little brother. I was a teenager, and he was like 12 years old or something. We're 3 years different.
I've got to admit, I could never see, what was so fascinating about the Power Rangers. A bunch of group of people jumping around in leotards and masks. It wasn't my thing, and
looked like alien spacesuits.
Oh yeah, and pretending that they knew how to do martial arts. I'm sorry, but
there's a few of them that do, though. Only a few do.
Yeah, it was still better than Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even go there. I mean, seriously, seeing that thing. Oh my lord, it's scarred for life.
They look like.
All I can say.
I'm sorry, the Teletubbies. They look like sex devices. Is what they look like.
There's something.
I don't even want to tell you what names that they were calling them over here because you seriously you'd have nightmares and your hair would go grey. Or
wait.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
The Teletubbies are just frauders that shave and take showers.
I think you mean shave, but without the shower.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, what a role for Chile to miss, huh? To be that big baby son.
Oh no, please. I'm trying to get that image out of my head now.
Yeah, now it's in mine. Thanks.
No.
Now you're making me think of that guy, Glenn Serial.
Oh no.
Glenn. I'm so glad he's gone.
Oh, he's not gone. He's back.
I think he's got psychological problems because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's saying crap and he doesn't know what he's saying.
He definitely does.
Help. He has help. He's a single dad too. He
Did you see what Nero?
Somebody made it with him.
I feel. I mean,
yeah, maybe
he's
she was super drunk or something. I don't know.
I agree with me in the chat that News Now Ninja needs to change his name to News Now Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
He's another disgusting one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, he's just a straight up cop hater. Like he tries to hide it with his supposed activism, but you could tell his disdain for cops. Like the minute he's close to him, he looks like he just like I think somebody's one of them stole his girlfriend or something because he's just like I hate you.
His blow up doll.
In your clown suits.
What was her
Glenn's
name?
Funny though.
Ninja.
Glenn is funny. He says, "I'll sweep your leg." I'm like, dude, wait, if you're gonna try to sweep, you'll probably fall, because.
Oh, especially in them sandals. Oh God!
Remember that teenager dogged Glenn. He dogged Glenn. I forgot what his name was. He followed him and called him all this, all kinds.
Oh,
of
like the kid, yeah.
Oh, that kid was.
Yeah. Oh,
I would have given that kid a little more, little advice on how to really talk mess. Oh yeah, News Now Ninja. Yeah, News Now Ninja is too skinny. He's 6'2" and he weighs 160 pounds. That is skinny. I thought I was skinny at 160, and I'm like I was at 5'9" at 160 pounds, and I was in my 20s, and I'm about 205 or 206, and I'm 5'9" right now. And
how tall did you say he was again?
News Now Ninja's 6'2", and he's 160 pounds. That's skinny.
That's soaking wet. That is for someone who's 6'2".
Yeah, he should weigh at least
180
pounds.
What the heck?
He'd still be skinny at 180, but
yeah,
too skinny.
Yeah, you're making me feel. Dude, I'm like 6'2", 299 right now, so I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, but 6'2", and 299.
He needs to eat a lot of sandwiches.
Yeah, but that's a good healthy weight for someone of you.
Well, not for 6'2". That's if you ever saw a picture of me when I was like 5'9", 160 pounds, you would look at me looking lean and everything. But I was naturally thick in the leg areas and everything. But I got my old adult weight, and and I'm like, I need to drop to like 190 to 185. That's a good weight for me, and I'll look slender,
Yeah.
But yeah, because everybody's got a different build. I mean, one woman said she was 5'8", and she was 190 pounds. I said, no, you don't look 190. There's no way. But I said, you must have metal in your bones. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the doctor says about me. He's like, yeah, there are actual heavy bones. I'm like, what? Yeah. Don't lie to me. I can lie to myself. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Your bone density also reflects your diet as well. So if you eat healthy, you have a good balanced diet and you exercise regularly, you are going to have your bones are going to be a lot more denser and a lot more stronger.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be able to withstand the mass of muscle.
Sometimes it's genetics too, though.
Yes, it is also to do with genetics as well, and a lot of people don't realize that.
I realized it. My grandmother, she never broken a single bone in her entire life before she passed away.
Oh wow!
And right now, if she was alive, she would be like 93 years old, but she passed away at 82. But she smoked a lot, and she ended up having Alzheimer's and dementia. That's what she had. I ended up being her care provider, took care of her. It was not an easy job. It was like I worked 19 hours, and I only got paid for 12 hours, but I didn't care. I still did the job,
Right. If you want to lose weight, you can also watch Chili's little weight loss stream. Because he's an expert.
What was it?
The intermittent fasting.
Yeah, he claims he weighs 220 pounds and he's 5'8". I don't believe he's 5'8".
I don't believe he's 5'8". He's like 5'6", 5'5".
Really? Seriously?
I'm 5'9", close to 5'10", but I would tower
if Mark is still here, I wanted to bring him on to talk with Joey. Because I thought the best person would be Mark.
I mean, I can talk to Joey. Hey, Joey.
Okay.
What's up with you, man?
Hello, what's up with you?
Come on, talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
I'm grilling. What's going on with you?
I'm not
I'm not-
really.
Oh, what are you
I'm just,
talking?
Oh my God!
I'm
please.
just hanging out.
I
Oh, well, I thought that's what you were going to talk.
right now.
No,
What are
I'm
we
just,
gonna talk about?
no, I'm just kidding. No, I heard about how you're not cool with the cops, right? That's what's going on?
No, I'm just not cool with giving other people more power than yourself. You know?
Actually,
Well,
the cops have had less power than they did in the past. And
they do.
I know.
They
look,
are.
if you've
They
been to
are.
California, cops are very weak in California. They haven't been. They're more submissive, in California.
Thank you, Warriors Rage.
But what exactly do you expect from cops though? Like, when you're in trouble, or if you're in a situation that you need somebody to help you out, what exactly are you expecting from the cops?
Nothing. Exactly. I don't expect anything from them.
Okay, so you
If I had something wrong that I needed fixed, right? Say I had a health problem, I'd call a doctor, right?
Sure.
If somebody was on the floor and they were seizing, I'm not going to call the cops. What are they going to do? I'm going to call EMTs.
Okay, fair enough. But check this out. Okay, if you call the ambulance, right? Say you call the ambulance because if a friend of yours is having a seizure, you don't know what's going on, and then when the ambulance gets there and they see your friend seizing, and they tell you, "Hey, back away from him. Let us take over." What are you gonna do?
Well, I'm going to back away from them, but that's because they know what they're doing and I don't,
Now, why do you think you know more than what the cop does about his profession?
Because what is their profession exactly?
It's law
Well, I
enforcement.
don't know. I mean,
Law enforcement.
You're the one who's holding this animosity, right? So you have to know what power do they hold over you?
They hold all sorts of powers over you. At any point, a cop can say anything about you and say that that's fact, and it becomes your word against theirs.
But why
You can't just, what's happening?
Hang on, guys. Why would you be in a situation like that, though?
I think your mic's spazzing out.
Is it me?
Yeah, I think your mic's spazzing out.
Or do we have an echo?
Huh?
I don't hear it.
Hello? I don't hear anything.
It certainly ain't from my end.
I think it might be my phone speaker. You guys sound.
You're the one with the echo.
It might be you, Joey.
Do you have earphones?
I don't have any earphones with me right now. Like I said, I'm outside.
That's cool. So you're on the speaker. You're using the speakerphone.
You guys were already on speaker. That's what you guys were on.
Okay. So use your mic like walkie-talkie. Hit the mute button, and then when you're ready to talk, just hit it and start talking. And then while we're talking, just leave it on mute like that. You won't get that feedback. Okay. So my question was, why are you in a situation where cops are telling you something? I don't walk down the street and cops just come up to me and be like, "Hey, let me see your ID" and stuff like that. So are you putting yourself in a situation where cops would come up to you and ask you for your ID and stuff like that?
What situation would I be putting myself in where a cop would just come up to me and say, "Hey, give me your ID," right? But it happens, and it has happened to me,
Okay,
so,
right. Hold on a minute. Let's just cut to the chase here. Okay, right. The situation is quite plain and simple. If you don't understand it, then sorry, there's something seriously wrong. He's just basically said, a cop walks up to you and says, give me your ID. Can he do that?
No.
Right. There you go. So answer his question properly then, instead of running around in circles.
Can you ask the question again?
What situation are you getting in that the cops are asking you for your ID?
None. I've been ID'd twice. One time.
Where were you? What were you doing?
One time, me and a couple of my friends were in my cousin's car. We were pulling into my cousin's girlfriend's apartment to drop her off. We pulled in, we backed up, and as we were stopped there trying to back into a parking spot, the cops behind us, probably because we were just taking too long or whatever, they stopped us and said, "Hey, what are you guys doing here? You guys belong here?" And they ID'd my cousin Uriah and the rest of us. They asked who we were. A lot of us in the car at that time weren't even, adults, and they were asking like, "Hey, who are you?"
Well, I would hope that they would ask you, even if especially if you weren't an adult. You want to make sure you go safe to your parents, man. Now, check it out. When they asked you for your ID, did you get hemmed up? Did they arrest you? Did they do something to you? Or was it just the asking of the ID that was, you feel what was wrong?
We just gave them our ID and cruised along, right?
So nothing happened.
At that point, but you can't live your life in fear like that, right? What did we do wrong? What crime did we commit? We were pulling into a parking spot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You are making a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah.
That is the point.
You are making a mountain out of a molehill. Do you know how many times I've been ID'd by the UK police since I was 11? No, actually, since I was 21. Do you know how many times?
You live in the UK. We have our Fourth Amendment right.
Fourth Amendment doesn't apply to that.
No, it doesn't actually.
No, you don't have a Fourth Amendment. Let's just
And I have my Fifth Amendment right too. I don't have to help you in investigating me. The plain and simple.
Applies to the courts.
If there is a crime, let me get this right. I'm going to tell you this dead straight because I know for a fact that what you said is a load of bullshit. If there is a crime that's going off in that area and there is a fugitive on the loose, and you
there was no crime.
No. Listen to me, because this is a scenario, right? And I'm pointing this out to you.
It's just hypothetical.
Yeah, this is hypothetical. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Right, but if there's a fugitive in the area, right, you bump into that fugitive, okay, and they know you, and they'll go, "Hey, how are you doing, man? Right, sorry, I've got to run," and they scarp her, okay. 30 seconds later, you see the cops coming around the corner, right? And they say, "Oh, have you seen such and such?" What do you think is going to happen when you say, "I'm not helping you"?
Well, where I'm from,
no, seriously, what do you think is going to happen?
All right, go on your way then. I can.
I'll tell you. Right, I'll tell you what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
I'll tell you what will happen. You'll get arrested for aiding and abetting a fugitive. Obstruction of justice as well. You're going to be in a lot of shit, my friend.
That's the problem right there.
No, it's not the problem.
In fear. You live in fear.
No, that is the problem you've created.
Okay, hang on, bud. Hang on. Let me approach this a different way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Okay. You're looking at this because of what happened to you, right? But check this out. Let's just say that some kids, at another time, that are your age, would do about the same stuff that you do. The only difference between them and you is that they're holding a weapon, okay? And they're not going to that house to drop off a friend. They're going to rob it. And so they pull up as deep as you guys were in that car, and the cop doesn't say anything to them. He says, "Oh, they're just some kids in the car. Let me just leave them be." And then they go inside and rob that house that has somebody's daughter, grandmother, father, brother, whoever it is in there. They try to protect the home. They get shot and killed. And that cop just let all those people go without even checking them. Now, I get it. The cops telling you something like, "Oh, let me see your ID," feels like, oh, somebody's, telling me what to do or whatever. But it's not a matter of telling you what to do. It's a matter of him performing his duties as a cop. We want cops. Huh?
Were you the one who said they were a Marine? Someone in here said they were.
No, don't worry about that. I'm talking about cops. Okay, we're
He's
focused
coming
on
back
cops. Don't
later.
worry.
I'm just.
Hermano, hey, Jerry, hold on. Stop for a minute. Hold on. I got this.
There
All
you
right, listen. Let's because I am gonna go with real. All right, something not an example or an analogy, something that literally actually happened to me in real life. Okay, where I lived in Chicago, once a month, every street would be shut down for street cleaning on a certain day. Okay, and they'd put signs up all over the street. No parking tomorrow on this street. Okay. So one night, I'm in my car with my buddies. There's like 8 of us. It's insane. We were at a party. We were up all night. It was great fun. We come home. I was a DJ at the time, so we were really having fun. Probably too more than we should have been having. But that had nothing to do with it. So I get home, and there's the signs. No parking this street tomorrow, right? So I pull over on the side because I can't park on that road. I'm trying to follow the law. And that's why I pulled over to the side. Immediately I get lit up. These cops come up to me. They're IDing me. They're IDing my friends. They're searching my car. They're trying to find our weed. Notice I didn't say they're trying to see if they could find any, but they didn't. But anyway, they're searching us. They're doing everything wrong. This cop just stopped us just to be a dick. Because when I tried to explain to him the reason we did that was so that I could be following the law, he didn't even want to hear it. He checked everyone else's ID, but since I was the one who was parking my car in front of my house, he didn't want to check my ID because then that would have gave him an excuse to let us go. All right. So this guy was obviously doing it just to be power tripping, just to be a dick. So why don't I hate cops? Here's why. Because if a black guy named Tony steals my car and a white guy named Tony steals my car, the white guy, Tony's a jerk. But if the black guy, then all black guys are bad. So the cop that stopped me, because he's an asshole, now all cops are bad?
That's not what I'm saying. I never at one point said all police are bad. I'm saying it's a dumb position to put yourself in where you're giving your power away to strangers.
We're all strangers here in life.
I'm not saying, right?
All good.
Well, technically, we're not all strangers. We're just friends.
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that
kind of thing.
When I say trust, you don't trust anyone. You earn the trust. With police, I don't trust all police. I do trust police that I do know, but that doesn't mean I have a hatred for cops, though. Trust has to be earned, and it's not just like these First Amendment auditors that make it bad. What it is we all see, sometimes we see cops bad because one cop does something real bad, then they're all bad. Just like the George Floyd and the Breonna Taylor situation. Those things just make people hate cops. And these cops make the other good cops look bad. That's the problem. But it's not the largest problem in our society. The problem in our society is our government overall, and I'm not here to get into politics. But if you really want to do that, you got to get into the government, not be like insulting cops or anything. Because if you insult a cop, it's a no-win situation. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
I don't dare insult a cop.
I get what the kid is saying. He
okay, now I can hear.
What he's saying is that he doesn't understand the power that's given to the police department or to the law enforcement officer, because it doesn't make sense to him that we would willingly give up ourselves to somebody that we don't know, or supposedly we know more than him or whatever. But
yeah,
the thing is,
my statement doesn't stop at law enforcement. It's government overall, right? Why should I trust a bunch of people with guns when I have my own gun, And I can, okay, maybe there needs to be more trained people with guns. I will call 911. This isn't a one-person here,
I got
Well,
you,
that's
pal.
what
But
they're doing.
mute your mic for just a second, yeah. Okay. The thing is that you got to understand. This is not. I know that you weren't involved with the process of making the government or the society that you're living in, but you're living in it. Okay. You got to conform to the reality you're in. Okay. So that's number one. And number two, when it comes to our government system, if you understand how to work it, you'll understand how to make the changes that you want in order to live more comfortably in your area. But the thing is that
friends, the government is a tool you can use, not the other way around.
right. So I don't know why you think that we've given up any power to the government. The government works for us, yes, it does, but it's not our slave. It's not our servant. It doesn't work that way. How it works is that all of us get together, technically, and we make up our minds on how we want our society to run. And so certain things need to run a certain way. And yes, some people are going to have a little bit of enforcement over you, but that has nothing to do with them having power over you. That is just a simple responsibility that we put on somebody, and you got to give it up to that person who's willing to take on that responsibility. Because imagine you're put in a spot where you're told you have to be in charge of a bunch of people, and then you have to be able to be there in situations that nobody, not even their own family, is going to want to be there. But you're putting yourself in that situation. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that you have to do anything a cop says. Like, oh, if a cop's trying to tell you what to do and it's unlawful, of course not, because his only job is law enforcement. Now, if he's doing something within his job, within what he has to do, there's nothing wrong with that. And it may seem forceful, but believe me, it's much better that way than another way. Because if you look at it in the sense of a firefighter, okay? If a house is burning and it's dangerous, it's gonna collapse or whatever, and he sees you standing there and he tells you, "Hey boy, get the fuck out of there!" and he screams at you and stuff, are you gonna tell him, "Oh, you don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what you can't tell me what to do. I'm my own person. Don't tell me what to do, or you're gonna run out of there."
What?
Can I interject something? Real quick. I gotta say something real quick because I'm gonna have to log out here in 3 minutes. Like I said, system's not perfect. The cops are under law enforcement. That follows onto the executive branch. And if you really want to make changes, you got to go towards the mayors and governors. I mean, you don't even have to go to the president. And you can even go to the legislature part. But to say, oh, yeah, these cops, they have too much power. I mean, there's cops that are going to be like that, but they're not all like that. There are some cops. I mean, in the 90s and even in the 80s in Hanford, California, which I'm from, there are cops that were like that, and it's changed. Most of the cops that I saw that were like that I didn't like, they're gone. It's because change happens because people want it to happen. I mean, sure, we still have problems, but you do have to make your voice heard. And when you say that you have the right to remain silent, yes, that's the Fifth Amendment when the cop is reading your Miranda rights. But you don't have to talk to a cop, which is actually your First Amendment, which is the freedom of speech, and you can be quiet as much as you can. But if it's anything to do like you're getting arrested or anything, yeah, you don't have to talk to police with the Fifth Amendment or the First Amendment. But when they're reading your Miranda rights, that's the Fifth Amendment. The First Amendment, though, whenever they ask you a simple question, yeah, that's your First Amendment. That's the same thing with me. If I ask you something and you say I don't answer questions, you have the right to say that. But like I said, we take our rights for granted at times that we end up losing them. The problem overall with a lot of these First Amendment auditors is that they're going to force the government to take our rights away because they're making it bad for us all. And a lot of these First Amendment auditors do is harass people.
Okay, that's better.
And everything.
Yep.
They harass people just to make trouble and everything.
Say these people over here, because they are doing what they want to do, are forcing the hand of those people over there to do something to me.
Well, like I said, I don't know. I can't make a judgment call real quick. I got to go pretty soon. I'll make it really fast. Like I said, there are good cops and bad cops. And you can't look at all cops good or bad. And if you think there needs to be something changed in your community, in your police, then you need to go towards your community, like your mayor, and say, hey, I'm not liking this. And you can talk to people. But if you make trouble with police, you're going to lose. There's no win situation. All right, guys, I have to go, and I appreciate everything.
Oh.
And I got to go at 6 o'clock.
Thanks for coming on. I'm sorry it took so long.
Yeah,
that was a good point though you made.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to do we're going to do a live later on the Death Star Report at 7 p.m.
Awesome.
Pacific time. If you guys want to join up, you're welcome to join up. We talk football. We'll talk any sports if you guys want to do that. If it's not your thing, it's all good. All right, thank you very much, Fraditor, and everyone else.
No
What's
problem.
What's the name of your channel? What's the name of your channel? I'd like to do.
It's the Death Star Report, but we also have another one called the DSR _ Aftermath. I'll type it up real quick.
Great.
That way, you know.
Yeah, leave it in the chat so we can just link up to it.
Yes.
Oh, you want to? I won't go private then. I'll just do it right there. Okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
But wait, let me see if I do it on my phone, because if I do it on my laptop, it won't do it real quick. Because
I have a. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I go on there. I don't have the link, but I'll put there. You'll find it. It'll show a DSR sign.
Yeah.
You know, we have 2 channels. You know.
Yeah, I have an NCAA NHL hockey channel, so maybe we can hook up.
Oh, I love hockey.
Do that. Yeah, I do. It's called Stock and Hockey.
Nice. I'm a Red Wings fan. 20-something years.
Yeah, I live and die by the Bruins, so I've been a Bruins fan my whole life. But go ahead.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Let's see if it's showed up right there. Let's see. It'll take a little time. Yep, there it is.
Nice. Thank you.
YouTube channels. And if you guys want to do it, if it's not, it's all good. I gotta go. I talked to my peoples on Death Star Report on Discord, so you know, I have to be there with them.
All right, I'm gonna
later, everybody.
Joey, I'm gonna have to recycle because there's a lot of people trying to come on.
I just wanted to say one thing. Who's the gentleman that's really frustrated with the police? What's your name? I'm sorry, Joey. Could I just say something to you really, really quick? And how old are you? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm 20.
Okay, so I'm 55 years old. So I grew up in the South Shore of Boston, which is kind of like a suburb. Okay, when I was growing up, I had 3 major car accidents where I just completely wiped out the car, and not necessarily I wasn't necessarily in a clear state of mind. Let's just say I maybe had a couple of beers or something like that. And my only point is that was in the 80s, and the police in my town, my father was the commanding officer of the naval base over there. They basically felt that whatever he would do to me would be worse than what they would do. So just as an example of how things have changed, I never got arrested for any of those things. I got a ride home, and basically, the car got towed to the junkyard or whatever, and I got dropped off, and that was it. And it wasn't so much that it had anything to do with the state of the times or anything like that or whatever. It was just a smaller town. People knew each other, and we had, in a weird way, I don't know, the police were kind of more interactive with a lot of the younger people. They would come to the high school and stuff like that. I actually, in my 30s, when I turned to photography and filmmaking and stuff, I started an organization called a foundation called Below the Board for inner city kids to try to get sponsorship and learn how to talk to different companies to try to get some kind of springboard, because they had no idea, they had no education really, but they were phenomenal skateboarders, snowboarders, things like that. And I tried to start a secondary program with the court system to explain to them how it worked, like a show cause hearing, a clerk magistrate hearing, things like that, because I think that and the information that I got back from talking to these kids was that they felt like when you go to court, you automatically go right to jail, and then then everything gets figured out from there, and they don't realize that That's not how it works. You can get personal recognizance. You can, depending on the charge, yes, you can have bail, but a bail bondsman can bond you out. But they were just, these 13, 14, 15-year-old kids, and this is still going back 25 years ago, were thinking that, they would immediately go to jail. So they'd get, a stupid shoplifting charge or something, and they would immediately never want to interact with the police again, and so they would have this chip on their shoulder. And I say that not from a point of judgment, because as Tara will tell you, the first thing I said to her is that I understand the frustration with police. I fought the state of Massachusetts from 1988 when I was a senior, or actually when I was a freshman in college. My father died when I was in boot camp. I was driving home on Sundays. I accumulated like 3 or 4 speeding tickets. Now, back in the 80s, there was no computer systems. There was nothing. They put them in like a card deck. So you just stick your thing in there. And long story short, they give you a court date that would be 6 or 7 years later. And I never went to those court dates. I had no idea. I drove with a suspended license and got stopped a bunch of times and went into court, and they'd be like, pay a $50 fine and you get out of here today. What they never said to me was pay a $50 fine, and that's strike one on one of 3 strikes that you'll then spend 90 days in jail for. So I understand exactly where you're coming from when it comes to having an inability to understand the even playing field, understanding, it always seems like they have some kind of rule or law or procedure that they could pull out of their back pocket. I don't know if you were here early in the chat, but I mentioned that I have press credentials, and I'm a photographer and a filmmaker. I have been arrested more than once for taking photographs in a public area, but because the photographs, and it wasn't that I was doing this, it's just that they didn't know whether I did, because people have no idea where a camera's pointed. They would, say that I was some creepy guy because there was young kids running around like a playground, and really I wasn't even shooting in that direction. And I got a press pass. I got exactly the laws on photographing in public, but still I get hauled down there, and for 2 hours I got to sit there, answer questions until finally they just let me go or whatever. But I understand the frustration, and so I finally couldn't take the whole driving with no license and everything like that and all those things, and I just paid all the money, all the fines, and just said, what, I'm just done fighting City Hall. You know what? It is impossible. It really is. I'll tell you that I still to this day believe that from the hierarchy of the government, politicians, the people that make the laws, and then the law enforcement agents across the United States, which is about 20,000+ people, there is a huge disconnect in the training of police, law enforcement agents, police officers, especially when it's smaller forces, when it's or it's higher crime areas where you've got to get the guys out there fast enough. Massachusetts, where I live, it's like communism here. I mean, the troopers are dressed like they're going to invade Poland every other day. I mean, it's unbelievable here. They literally get training so that they can have accreditation, so that they're like supposedly the highest skilled troopers in the United States, according to the Mass State Police bulletin. And they never give you a break with anything. It's brutal. So I understand where you're coming from, and all I would suggest to you is that it's the police, their sole duty is to enforce law. I think the laws are not clear enough. I don't think the laws are always correct. I don't think the laws are always up to date or accurate for the times that we live in. But I can promise you that there's a much better interaction that you'll have if you try to communicate with a police officer, I know it sounds crazy, but even just I don't. And is there like a situation that you're? And I'm sorry that I stepped away for a second. Are you personally having like bad interactions with them, or do you just see that that's happening and stuff, or what is your personal concern as far as that goes?
See, it keeps getting thrown out a lot that I hate police. Well, not hate, but damn near. But I dislike police a lot, and that's not true. But I have had a lot of just very negative interactions with police through my life. From a very young age, I've just always had negative interactions with police.
Have those in?
That,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I always like approaching officers. I do. Every time I see a police officer, I'll go up to their car, I'll take a picture of the front and back of it, and I'll speak with them. And I've met some very kind and some very professional people. And I've also met a lot of slime.
Wow,
And
I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what
Okay.
happened there. 1 minute I'm here, and the next minute I'm gone, and now I'm back. Sorry about that.
And I know there was something I couldn't hear anything, and everybody that was backstage, it was like a double of everybody, and it was like really confusing.
yeah, and it's like it sounds like a transformer having a malfunction.
Yeah. So
I am gonna.
Are you going?
I'm going to end soon, like in like 10 minutes.
All right,
All
look,
right.
can I just say one thing?
Yes.
One
Yep.
last thing for Joy over here. Yeah, everything that well, I'm sorry, who was that talking right now?
Michael.
Everything that Michael was saying, I agree with most of it. I honestly think that we kind of most of the time we look at our system and stuff like that, and we say, oh, it's not perfect. Well, there's not a perfect system out there, okay? And that's reality. Reality is that no matter how perfect we want things to be, they're not going to be exactly the way we want them to be. But we're getting there, And so exactly what Michael and the other guy said. You got to make your voice heard when it comes time to do those things, and you might get the change that you want. Now, you're having negative interactions with the cops, and in those situations, you're not quite understanding what's going on. Well, I would say the next time you feel like you're in one of those situations, instead of going to your anger first and going to your frustration, stop, take a breather, let the anger in you go away. And as the cops are asking you for this, because just hear me out real quick, okay? As the cops asking you for things like, say, your ID or whatever, because you know that if he asks you for your ID, he's gonna run his check, whatever he's got to do. You go ahead and take your time, ask the question that you want to ask when he comes back. If you've been polite enough and not angry and throwing a tantrum or saying anything to him, he'll more than likely answer what you have to tell him. You got to understand one thing. Even though cops, they have their situations, and yeah, none of them are perfect or whatever. The one thing that we are is human, okay? And they deal with people every day. They don't just stop you. They stop millions of people every day, okay? And there are some people who are going to be good and some people are going to be bad. There's going to be some people who are going to curse them out for everything that they do. And there's going to be some people that are going to be nice to them and be cool. But they never know. There's also going to be people who are going to stick a gun in their face and want to kill them. So you got to understand that
There's going to be on a fireman, you don't see them just running away from the building. No. You see them doing the work to make sure they go home that day.
Right. And that's what they're trying to do. And I know that's what you're trying to do if they stop you in an interaction. And you're young, bro. You're going to get into many of them because you're going to be going out at night. I mean, girls make you do crazy things when you're young. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You came in at the worst possible time, too. I feel bad for you because you were probably 15, 16 years old when the pandemic hit, when all of a sudden there was just unrest throughout the country. This is not how this used to be. Now, right. You know what I mean? I think everybody here would agree that this poor guy, he's got the police when they are literally mourning a fellow, officer or somebody else that just got shot or killed for no reason. And that's not your fault. It's not your fault. And it's, you're right. It's not fair that you should be the one that has to walk on eggshells. You should be the one that has to have the better attitude. But here's the bottom line as far as life goes. Forget police. Life is hard. Life isn't fair. You're going to have a job. You're going to have hierarchy. You're going to have bosses. You're going to have people under you. And throughout your life, you're going to learn that different ways you interact with people get you different results. And it's easy to always be the smart guy, the one that's, even if you're 100% right, not many transactions or interactions have anything to do with who's right or wrong. It has to do with who feels like they're winning or gets their point across. Sometimes somebody realizes they're wrong, and if they don't have any way out, they'll just keep fighting that bad fight. And so it's a learning process. And I would just strongly suggest that you will find a lot more happiness in this lifetime if you look at it like, if the headline was plumber, kills woman with pipe wrench, you know what? The Wall Street Journal's not going to write that story. They don't care. But police shoots another African American, or police shoots another person, that sells. So it's always those stories that are going to rise to the top. And I understand your palpable anger and fear and frustration. So I can just tell you that they do. I mean, they walk out every day. They don't know whether they're going to have their life when they're at the end of the day. There's kids like you that are in gangs that are carrying guns that they don't even know anything about and could shoot and kill them. So just, that's my 2 cents. I won't talk any longer, but I wish you the best of luck. And I can promise you that there's cops that will jump in freezing water and save your life, or in front of a bullet, and just as many as will give you a hard time for wearing baggy pants or something.
Absolutely. Good point, man.
How old are you, Joey? Did you say he was?
20.
20.
I'm 46. You have got a long, fruitful life in front of you. Don't let stuff like this hold you back. Never let anger control you, because all it will do, it will eat you alive. It's a cancer. Fear, anger, resentment. It's a cancer, and it will chew you up, and it will spit you out, and it will make you one very, very bitter young man. And it will stick with you for the rest of your life as well.
That's right. That's a good point.
Yeah, don't be like that. Since I was 20, I'm 46. I've been stopped by the police and ID'd 36 times. 36. Do you want to know why? Because I'm a registered firearms instructor over in the UK. I train people with firearms. I get stopped by the police. The person who I do the training with, we get stopped by the police. Do you know what the first thing that we do is? As soon as the police come, we say, "Excuse me, gentlemen, but the first thing I've got to notify you is there are firearms in this vehicle." And the first thing that they'll say is, "Get out the car." You've got to respect the fact is they're doing their job. Okay, they want to get home at the end of the night, and I respect the fact that the police officers over in the UK are the same. They want to go home at the end of the night, back to their families, safe and sound.
Right.
Okay, be respectful with them. Be honest. I know that you get angry, and I know that you're fearful of them, but trust me, that kind of attitude, that is what's going to get you into trouble. Always be honest with them. Always be respectful.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this much now: if you're respectful and honest with them, they will be honest and respectful with you. It's a two-way street. Always remember that, Joey, because trust me, if you remember that, you will go far. Everybody in this world is broken. It's just that some of us need more help than others to get
Yeah.
fit.
Personally, I think that type of fear you live in is the exact reason 20 to 30 years ago you could have guns you can't have now.
True.
But
But
that's political though. That's all politics.
Because all I own is
the reason why that happened was first off, Hungerford. I think we all remember what happened in Hungerford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michael
Columbine.
Ryan.
don't
Yeah, Columbine is another one. Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
And then you got that recent one in the UK that's happened down at Plymouth last year. That was a very, very serious one. And because of that, there are a lot of things that are going off over here that are concerning firearms that are changing. And unfortunately, things are going to have to change one way or another.
And I do have a comment from somebody in the chat who wanted to come on and say something, but we're running out of time. But LJ Sings wanted to say that on subject of IDing, had a law enforcement officer ID'd their mom's best friend's ex while they were in a car together sitting in a car park, then she would be here and he would not have been able to permanently delete her using a firearm to her head.
You see, I heard, I was listening to something what you were saying the other day about stop and ID with them two teens in the pickup truck. Do you remember that?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yes.
And he was saying it's not a stop and ID state.
Right.
All because it say, well, okay, it doesn't say it is, but the police are obligated to ID you as part of an investigation, which is exactly what you've said. The moment if you refuse to ID in the course of an investigation, that is classed as hindrance. So, in other words, you are going to get, in the words of what we say over in the UK, you're going to get nicked sunshine.
Right.
Yeah, and just to add a little caveat to that, giving your ID is not incriminating yourself. Telling the cops who you are is just telling the cops who you are. It has nothing to do with whatever's happening or what they're investigating. It's just giving your name. That's it.
Why is my name incriminating? Well, what's the difference? I'm here. I'm there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who I am.
I'll tell you why.
It's an
Because
investigation.
Yes, go ahead.
Because because if they get your ID and they run your name, then instantly any bench warrants you have will show up, and they're looking for somebody that, you know what I mean. They're not trying to tag you with anything. They're looking for outstanding warrants or arrest warrants or felony warrants or things like that.
Or not just warrants. They want to know who they're dealing with. What if we're not?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you, but let's just say one of your friends is a gangbanger who's shot at cops before, and he looks just like you. He doesn't have tattoos on his face. He doesn't sound like a cholo, so they don't really know anything. But once they run his ID, they see, oh, this guy's been in like 2 shootings. He's been convicted for almost killing somebody. Okay, we got to treat this guy differently now. You know. It's not a matter of you know what I'm saying? It's a matter of the situation. So as long as you're in the right, as far as you're not doing anything illegal, as far as you're not doing anything that's going to get you into any trouble, and you know this, giving your ID is nothing more than just giving your ID.
Correct. It's almost like when you go to buy liquor or cigarettes, you have to ID. That is state law. Actually, I think it's federal law. That you have to ID if you're under 21.
Yeah, I'm 30.
I have to ID anyway. I got ID'd New Year's Eve. I tried to buy champagne, and because of my birthday being leap year, the system kept saying invalid. He thought my ID was fake and would not sell me. I'm 46 years old, and I surely do not look younger than 21.
Mm-hmm.
And
they have
refused.
They have an over. I think it's in some of the supermarkets we have over here. It's over. You got to look over 21 or over 25. I think it's like over 21 with like things like beer, cider, stuff like that. But the hard liquor, like whiskey, bourbon, gin, vodka, it's over 25. So I know exactly what you're talking about because I went to a supermarket. I'm 46 years old, standing in there, and I'm getting looked at by this young girl who's the cashier. She's probably just about 19 years old. And what's the first thing that comes out of her mouth? Do you have any ID for this liquor?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, seriously, sweetheart, I'm old enough to be your dad.
Right.
But I managed, but she kind of like looked at me a bit, gone out, and realised, I think I might have, made a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, but I don't know how it is in the UK, but can they actually get fined? I know here in my state, it's like a $50,000 fine if they don't ID.
Yeah, they set them up over here in California.
Are you over? Do you mean over here in the UK?
Yes.
Well, for a start, if you're here in the UK to consume alcohol, you have to be over 18. If you don't look over 21, if you don't look over 25, they have to ask you for ID. If you don't ask you for ID, they can lose their
liquor license.
Yeah, they can lose their license, and it could it can also end up with a huge fine. Possibly, I think it's £10,000 per conviction for that. And
wow!
And it's something like, and it's also, I think it's 6 months in prison or both, or you get or they'll just slap you with all three and basically be done with it, and that's your life ruined forever because you basically decided to sell alcohol to someone under the age of 18.
Right.
But that's how it normally is over here.
Wait, so you have to be 18. You only have to be 18 to buy liquor. What about cigarettes in the UK?
18.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 21 here.
Yeah, it used to
for
be
alcohol and cigarettes. I believe it went up to 21.
Yeah. When it was tobacco and cigarettes, it used to be 16. And then a few years back, the law changed and made it 18. But
wow.
But alcohol, it's always been 18.
See, it's always been 21 here.
It used to be 21. Funny enough, it used to be 21 here as well, back in the 70s. And then and then in the 80s, they changed it to 18 because when you're 18 years old, in the UK law, you are legally an adult.
Right. Well, you're legally an adult here in the US at 18 too.
Yeah. So you can see that there is sort of like a similarity between over in the States and over here in the UK.
Right.
There is a similar balance kind of thing. So it's quite an to be honest with you, I find this the American laws absolutely fascinating. I really do
they are fascinating.
Yeah, I really do, and the fact
and they are pretty much.
I'll say this as well.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I'll say this as well. The fact that you've got two of the greatest documents that have ever been written on the face of the planet, that makes the States very, very special.
Oh, thank you. It wasn't my idea.
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact that you have the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, that is something that you need to hold and cherish and defend and protect.
That exactly is what I'm here to say. That's just what I've been trying to say this whole time, and you guys have been saying, oh, you hate law enforcement, oh, you're anti-government. That's all.
Well, Joey, to be fair, the only reason I said that was because whenever you comment on my videos, that's pretty much what you're talking about. Is law enforcement.
I didn't say you hated law enforcement. I understood what you were talking about. I've been trying to make an argument for you understanding that power is necessary, but it's not against you; it's for you.
The thing is, right? What you have to remember, Joey, is this: the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is there to protect you and give you the rights that were given by your forefounders.
One of our forefathers, don't know which one. I'm sorry, but
But you have to understand this, okay? If you go down, if you and these frauditors keep going down the road that they're going right now, you are not protecting it. You are systematically destroying it. You are giving the government excuses to look and dig into the certain parts of that constitution that they think that they can either tweak, change, or get rid of. You have to remember this, right? The constitution is not absolute. It's not absolute. It can be tweaked, it can be changed, it can be rectified, it can be abolished at any time that the government feel like they want to, if they vote for it.
Yeah.
They have no appetite for it, right? They have absolutely no appetite for it. You want to know why? Anarchy, uproar. Basically, they would be absolutely well and truly screwed, and they know it.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they have no appetite for that.
And that's why that document was written. That's exactly what it was written for.
Yes, but you have to remember as well is by the route that you're going down, and the frauditors' route that they're going down, you're not helping. You're not protecting.
You're saying, right? You're saying you're
I can probably figure it out.
You are not helping. You are not protecting it.
Saying that
I can figure it out.
You are
opposite that you're saying because they are making transgressions, it's giving these people an excuse to restrict you, and that's just simply not true.
The game.
That is exactly what the frauditors are going to do. The more that they go down this route, I guarantee you, dime to a dozen, that what will happen is eventually the government is going to get sick and tired of it. And they are going to look into the Constitution
because
Bill of Rights, and they are going to start voting to have it tweaked. Because the people are going to turn around and say, we're sick of these bloody idiots.
Look at social media right now as it is. They're already doing it with social media. They're already restricting things that you can say, things you can't say, and the government's trying to get more involved. But I'll just say one thing on as far as the frauditors and stuff go. One of my best friends from college was the chief of police in Harvard. He retired to become head of the de-escalation and training force that started in Boston, which was supposed to train officers better ways to have physical interactions with people so that it wouldn't have to go to a taser, a gun, the next level, like just better ways to have hand-to-hand control of a person if they started to try to get away or try to move or do whatever. And also the way they interact to de-escalate things and to change their attitude and to change the way that the police were trained. I mean, they get, again, I don't know the exact specifics, but the number of hours that they're trained it perils in comparison to the number of hours that they're out there working, basically, on the streets and immediately in front of any number of criminals and or people that they interact with. And so it's what everyone's saying as far as the Constitution and stuff goes. Part of having the ability to live free is also not encumbering on someone else's freedom. And when somebody like Glenn Serio calls a black police officer an N-word repetitively, and I'm appalled by that. And I talked to my buddy who's police chief, and he goes, long before Glenn Serio, people do that to us all day long. So now think of a police officer, he's going to get lunch and somebody behind him, not a fraud. He's not an auditor. He's just a person. And he's like, "What's up, pig? What's up, pig? How you doing, pig? You fucking pig. I hope your family dies in a car crash. I hope you die in a car crash. I hope your kids are orphaned. I hope your kids get autism. I hope your kids, do it." Like, this is the type of stuff that some of these people resort to. And so, how they react is not it doesn't make that right or wrong because that they were antagonized. They signed up. That's their job, whatever. But all I'm saying is that there's a lot of factors that go into a police officer's day or law enforcement officer's day right before you interact with them. And that's just something to consider. I'm not saying to bow to the police officer or to change your thought process. And it's a never win situation. We need work. We need to do this as a country. But that's the thing. If we don't all work together and do it from a logical, legal standpoint of changing specific laws, you're not going to change the way people interact by telling them to or by protesting. It just makes it worse, because just like there's bad cops, there's bad citizens that take advantage of these things, and they just rob and steal, and they've wiped Seattle completely off the map. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, the other thing as well is, I mean, if you called one of the police officers over here a pig, they just basically laugh at you with a big grin on their face and say, "Thank you very much, sir." You know, I'm really touched that you've said that kind of thing, because over here, pig actually stands for personality, integrity, guts. Pig, P-I-G, personality, integrity, guts. That is
I agree.
That is what it. So if you think about it, if you're calling, if you're calling a police officer a pig, technically you're actually complimenting them. You're not insulting them. Now, I don't know if the American officers actually know that, but if they don't, maybe they ought to sort of like, take it on.
I
agree with
that.
Sharing that analogy, yeah.
I was gonna say that I would never try and point that hate towards someone, but just because I would never do that means that I can go and say that somebody else can't.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I'd never point that type of hate towards someone, but just because I would never do that doesn't mean that I can say that the next person can't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, I mean, you can only control you, man. So be the best you can be.
Yeah.
I do have to end the stream now. I am glad that we went from. I mean, I don't know how Joey feels now, but I hope you were able to get some good advice.
The last thing I wanted to say, and the thing is that I knew that you were going to finish, so I didn't finish saying this part. What our British friend over there was saying about being angry and everything. I have a story for you, but it's going to have to wait for another time. But because of me being angry, I spent a year in jail. Okay, so if I get a chance to talk to you about that, I'll let you know what happened there. But that was just because I was angry. Okay. You don't ever want to make decisions while you're angry. That was it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you were angry, or the actions you took?
I'm gonna be real with you. I kind of zoned out when she was talking.
It was because I was angry and I made bad choices while I was angry. But
darkness is bad.
that's gonna be for another time.
Being out of control is this, right?
Don't let your ultimate actions get driven because of your anger in an immediate situation. Even if you think you're 1,000% right, I promise you that the way that you behave, if you don't let the anger guide how you should react, if you just try to de-escalate the situation, be the bigger person, it's not always going to be fair, but I promise you what ends up happening out of that situation will be 1,000 times better than anything that else could happen, especially if it's with a police officer, because yes, they can flex on you. And trust me, spending a night or a weekend in jail is not what you want to do. Believe me. I think that we've all been there. I mean, I know that I have.
Anyway, right. Can I just say, it really has been an honor and a privilege to come up onto the panel and talk to everybody on here. Thank you so much, Miss Reaper.
Thank you for coming up.
Yeah. Well, I hope we can do this again.
I absolutely want to do another stream either Thursday or Friday. I'm going to get some mods in here. Like, that's number one. I didn't think of that, and I am so sorry that I didn't. But I will. I promise to get better at this.
This is a great
will.
stream.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Joe, I have all the respect in the world for everybody that was up here, and Joe,
Absolutely.
especially you. You're a well-spoken young man. I think that you're going very, very big places. And anything that we said or I said, please don't take it as arrogance or anything like that. I meant no disrespect. I have all the respect in the world for you, young man.
Yes.
You're doing very good.
Take
And
care.
Joey, you can email me anytime, okay?
Okay.
Yep.
I wanted to ask Rod and Reaper, could I have the footage just now?
I didn't hear you. You broke up.
Could I have the footage from this just to have, so I have
Yeah.
it in my?
It's going to go up on her channel.
It. I
It'll
didn't
go up on
record
her.
it.
Yes,
don't-
it'll go.
I don't think
YouTube does.
Download it myself.
Oh, okay. It'll
YouTube does.
automatically go up there. Okay.
Yep, it'll archive every hour. It'll go right up. It'll be on her under her live videos. You'll see it, and you
Awesome.
can
Okay,
download
great.
it.
Well, there we go.
But I download it because I don't think.
If you
just go ahead and download it.
Joey, do you see the private chat?
Let me see. I haven't looked at the private chat this whole time.
All right, so if you look over there, I'm going to get email address. It's mine. Email me. I'll give you a program. It'll allow you to download it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Take care, Joey.
Yes, Joey. Take care. And thank you to everybody who came and who did do super chats or donated anything. I didn't see it, but next time I'll be more prepared. Like I said, my computer's, until I can get a computer, I'm using my phone, so I'm not able to see a lot of stuff. But
And in the words of the Houses of Parliament, this session is now concluded.
absolutely.
Good night.
One more thing of business.
Yep.
I am totally fine. If you want to attack me for whatever I say, go for it. I have thick skin. I am not chilly. However, if you're only here to attack me or anybody on the panel or anybody in my chat, you will be booted. I will not accept that.
Yep. Free speech is fine as long as both people
Free
get to
speech
talk.
is totally fine. I am totally fine with that. You can say what you want, cuss. I don't care. If you want to bicker back and forth with somebody else, that's fine. But the minute threats, or if you're only here to continuously attack somebody and not contribute or just have a good time, then yes, you're going to have to go. Because obviously you don't want to be here anyway.
Yep. All right.
But
Thank you,
anyways,
guys.
night everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good
God
night.
bless.
Take care.
Joe, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, how do I end this?